Welcome back to the channel. It's Deanna Simone, and today we're talking about overhead press. How I learned to press without rushing. So the overhead press I used to avoid at all costs in the beginning of my fitness journey. It just felt overwhelming. This lift made me question whether I was doing it right or I probably shouldn't be doing this at all. Also, I used to feel like, was I even working out anything when doing them? So I quickly stopped. But once the 1 set of 20 confidence cycle came around, I felt like I needed to have this in my program because it's an essential part of building your foundation, right? You got your squatting movements, you got your push movements, you need to have your press movements, also hinging. So pressing was something I wanted to conquer. I don't want to have that moment when I experience challenge. My challenges are the perfect opportunity for you to reposition yourself, learn something new, and grow from it. That's the only way you can get stronger, right? Let's get this overhead press together. So the overhead press used to humble your girl real bad. I used to find opportunities to avoid it at all costs. But once I decided to do this 1 set of 20, it was essential for me to put it in my program because with the 1 set of 20, we're really building a foundation with light load, but also with higher reps. So we're learning the patterns. We're doing repeatable movements. So this was the best opportunity for me to challenge myself with the overhead press. The way I used to second guess myself, it's no more. Okay, we're at the point of our lives where we're going to tackle those challenges because it's only going to make us stronger, where we're going to be building confidence you can feel every day. And we're going to keep it simple today and talk about the overhead press. So this workout doesn't just test your shoulders, right? It tests your patience, your coordination. And honestly, this is why this is so powerful in learning in our 1 set of 20 confidence cycle. It's the perfect opportunity to take a step back and learn the fundamentals and how to do an overhead press. When I first started, I pressed with just the bar, no weight, and honestly, it was tough. I tried 3 sets of 10 and I was tired after the first set. But then 6 weeks later, I was confidently pressing 30 pounds with a fixed bar, something I never would have thought I would have been able to do. So this is why the overhead press is harder than it looks. It can demand more shoulder strength and core stability, and you may not be doing the movement properly. So the first tip is starting with a lighter weight. So I tried with the squat bar to do an overhead press with no weight, and honestly, squatting the 45-pound bar, it was really hard, and I noticed that I didn't have much upper body strength. So then I went back to the drawing board and decided to use the fixed bar, which was only 20 pounds. I liked it because I was able to really control my weight. Also, I was able to learn the movement pattern of pressing without feeling restricted, without feeling too tired. So we're not rushing to put the plates on. I learned to progress slowly, right? Which means starting light and progressing. So starting with a 20-pound fixed bar, before the 1 set of 20, I was just focused on doing 1 set of 10. Once I was able to do 1 set of 10, perfect form, then I was able to progress to 1 set of 15. And now we're finally at 1 set of 20. And I think reps 1 through 10 were fairly easy, but once I got to around the 13th rep to the 20th rep, that's where things started to feel a little bit more challenging, which we want, right? We're all about progressing. And if it's not challenging about 50% of the time, you're not going to see the progress you want. Also, with using a fixed bar, I decided to do mobility workouts that would aid in helping me feel stronger and helping my shoulders feel mobile and flexible, right? So with going with a lighter weight, I decided to pair my main lift, which was the overhead press, with mobility workouts that I do before my main lift. So I did some arm circles and I also did some shoulder stretches like the child's pose to help my shoulders feel good before the movement. I also did a lot of activation with the resistance band, which really helped before heading into my overhead press. I would do a warm-up about 5 to 10 minutes before getting into my main lift. So the next tip I would give is keep your wrists stacked, okay? That's where your strong pressing movement will come from. One of the most common mistakes I see is bending the wrist, right? So the wrist should be stacked directly over your elbow. Think about a straight line from your wrist to your elbow to your shoulder. You will notice it will improve your power with perfect form, also reduce your wrist strain, I used to get that so much restrained while I was doing the overhead press because I would have my elbows tucked out to the side, which you don't want. You want them stacked under your wrist as you pull down and press up. This instantly made me feel way more stable. I felt way more confident in the movement, and I felt less stress on my shoulders, on my wrist. And also, tip number 3, you want to brace your core. The overhead press is a full body movement, okay? You will feel it in those last reps in that one set of 20 because by the time you get to rep maybe 11 to 15, feeling a lot more challenging. So you want to think a strong press starts from the center of your core, right? That's where you want to work on your breathing techniques. I love this program because we have the opportunity to really focus on form, quality form before adding weight and through repetition. So our nervous system gets used to these movements where we feel more comfortable doing these in the gym. Rest is always going to be a part of the program, a part of the reps and sets. So after one set of 20, we're going to head right into our chest flies. I think that's the next workout I have that I paired with the overhead press. I've been working through what's best when it comes to pairing these workouts. We'll talk about that in a whole nother episode. As the weight goes up, your rest needs to go up too. During this program, we are learning through repetition, but rest and proper technique help create better form. So rushing through these reps can really hinder our progress and our reps wind up being really sloppy. And we don't want to learn that technique through this one set of 20 because you don't want your body to get used to it, right? I feel like once you rush the sets, you yourself and you start experiencing imbalances in those areas. So in this program, we are doing one set of 20 reps. The goal is to hit 20 reps. So if you feel at this time that 10 to 15 reps is what you can produce, that is great. Our goal is to work up to 20 reps, or you might be going more. You might do one set of 25, who knows? So we're doing this program twice a week. After the one set of 20 and then your workout that you paired with it, we're gonna do that accessory workout about one set of 10. And then after that set, you can rest for about 2 to 3 minutes before getting into our next compound movement, which is gonna be a one set of 20, and also that accessory movement. Between supersets, so some other alternatives, you can start with dumbbells if that's all you have, or like I did, start with the fixed bar and then progress to using the squat bar. So I would keep using the fixed bar up until like 50 pounds if I'm able to, and then I'll work my way up to the squat bar again where I can add on more plates. The purpose of the one set of 20 is to teach proper form and do it correctly every time. So we're not rushing through the one set of 20. I know at times it can be challenging, and once it starts getting heavier or the reps start feeling more tense, we find ourselves rushing through the reps. But I think this is the perfect opportunity to change that mindset, right? Go through the reps slowly. Maybe do it, maybe descend for 3 seconds, hold, and then press for another 3 seconds. So you go 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, up. Pairing your mobility and your activation exercises before your main lifts are chef's kiss. They help create better strength, proper technique. They help with your form, okay? It's always mobility before strength. You want stability, mobility, then strength, always. And finally, these are the big takeaways I have when it comes to the overhead press because it was a long journey for me. I think I spent about 6 months really trying to perfect it and do well with the overhead press. Even having it in my one set of 20 confidence cycle, I wind up pushing those over into my strength program as well. Remember to pair mobility and activation workouts before your main lifts, especially when doing overhead press, back squat, RDLs, right? When it comes to the overhead press, I dealt with some like pinching in my shoulder because I didn't have a proper warm-up routine. I do sit at my desk often throughout the day, like 10 hours a day. So I have a lot of shortened muscles in that area because I'm hunched over. So I felt like that hindered me when it came to wanting to progress in the overhead press. So pairing workouts like arm circles, shoulder external rotations. These help me progress well. Because the overhead press, it taught me about being patient and also taking a step back, working with a lighter weight, also slowing down the movements, and also pairing more activation workouts and mobility workouts to help me progress in the overhead press. Some days were better than others. Some days really humbled me and I felt duped, but all of these days counted. Your tough days, your strong days, your rest days, your recovery days, they all counted, okay? So if you want to build strength without rushing or burning out, this is exactly what I coach in my programs. You can start with my 7-day trial or go deeper with the 28-day confidence cycle. This is the one set of 20. And then I also have available the 6-month continuum. This program is perfect for someone who might have did the 7-day trial, also did the 28-day trial, and feel like, you know what, I'm ready to progress more in my fitness journey and do this 6-month continuum, which is perfect for the new year. So definitely check those out. I really hope this video was helpful for you all. And just remember, keep your wrists stacked. Make sure to have proper alignment to help you power through that lift and avoid injuries. And also don't rush between sets. If you're doing 3 sets of 10, make sure you're taking that 1 to 3 minute rest in between. And also in that 1 set of 20 confidence cycle, make sure you're taking that rest after your accessory workout, resting between 1 and 3 minutes, and making sure that you're going through each movement properly and using a tempo that works best for you. I actually have some advice when it comes to tempo in this program as well. So make sure you check that out in the PDF. And also remember to brace your core. So when you approach failure on those last couple reps, that will activate your core where spine stay neutral to progress through that lift. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I'll see you in my next one. And remember, we are working toward being confident and strong in our everyday life, not just the gym.
As I get a little older, I realize life is perspective, and my perspective may differ from yours. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been down with me.